When I read that, download, I think it's mandatory that there's an epilogue in books. So I'm wondering if she'll keep her and try to love on her and mold her, or if she'll just be like, girl, you got to go. So this is how I know I'm interested in this book. Hey chapter bestie, welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know, my name is Angie. I'm primarily a romance and suspense reader, but every now and then we tap into lit fic, historical fiction, contemporary fiction, everything but fantasy. Pow. Serious though. I am here today to talk about the 10 before the end. I thought this was something cute that book talkers, bookstagrammers, booktubers do. So I thought I would jump on and share my 10 before the end. This was super duper challenging because I have so many books that I need to read before the end of the year. And it was so hard to narrow it down to just 10 books. Some of these are in series that I really loved, and some of them are just books that I want to just really get into. And the first one is The Partner Plot by Christina Green. The Partner Plot is the second book in the Green Sisters series, and if you know me, you know I love a good second chance romance, and that's what this book is about. I'll read a little bit of the snippets of these, but I don't want to get too deep into it because I'll probably blog some, and then during my recaps you'll get my opinions on some of these things. But it's a second chance romance, and it's like a marriage of convenience. So it follows Violet Green, and then the male main character is Xavier Wright, and they are, I guess, high school sweethearts. I know I'm just gonna eat this up. The first book, The Native Favor, was really good. So I have really high hopes for The Partner Plot. Yeah, this looks really good. He's a high school teacher and basketball coach. Oh yeah, this looks really good. So The Partner Plot is definitely something that I want to read this year. I love a good romance, and like I said, second chance, I will eat second chance up any day of the week. The second book that I want to read is And Then There Was Passion by Asia Monique. And this is the second book again in the, what is this series called? I don't know if it's called anything, but it follows June Hansen. She's the female main character, and then the male main character is Calix Moore. So the first book in this installment, And Then Life Was Beautiful, was beautiful. Like, it was so beautifully written. It took me less than 24 hours to read the book. It had, so I am a big epilogue person. Like, I want to see and feel what happened to them 5 years later. Like, I think it's mandatory that there's an epilogue in books. This one did, I think it was like 5-10 years. Like, they did, it was, I loved it. And then the story with Corey, the female main character, and August, the male main character. August was the perfect, and I do mean the perfect, book boyfriend to have. I absolutely adored and loved them. It was a surprise pregnancy trope, and I'm not telling anything because the surprise pregnancy trope is on the back of the book. It kind of is a play on words. So yeah, it's really good. I tore that book up, like I said, within 24 hours. So I'm really excited to read And Then There Was Passion by Asia Monique. This will be my second book by the author, so I'm curious to go outside of this series and really get to know her a little bit more in her writing. But yeah, if you have not read And Then Life Was Beautiful, I read it back in the spring and on Kindle Unlimited. Oh my gosh, it was absolutely, it's just everything. It's in my top 10 books of the year, and I'm, like I said, I'm really excited. One thing that I love about that book is they're quadruplets, and they're all named after months. So August was the brother, and then he has 3 sisters. I think June, July, and September. Yeah, I think it's June, July, and September. And then he has family, kids that are named after months too. So totally interested in that. Can't wait to read that. The third book that I want to read is Real by Kennedy Ryan. So I know this is in a Renaissance series. It's the first book, and it's an older book of hers, I believe. I am a huge fan of Kennedy Ryan. I ate the Skyland series up, so I'm excited to dive in some more books of hers. I don't really know what Real is about. Basically, to read real quick, For months I stood by, an understudy waiting in the wings, preparing for my time to shine. I never imagined he would watch in the audience that night. Cannon Hawk, famous film director, fascinating, talented, fine. Before I could catch my breath, everything changed. I went from backstage Broadway to center stage Hollywood. From being unknown to my name, Nava Saint, on everyone's lips. Cannon cast me in a star-studded Harlem Renaissance biopic, catapulting me into stratosphere. But stars shine brightest in the dead of the night. Forbidden attractions, scandal, and circumstances beyond my control jeopardized my dream. Could this one shot, the role of a lifetime, the love of a lifetime, cost me everything? Wow! Does that not sound good? So yeah, I know Kennedy Ryan is such a great writer. This, I guess it was published 2021, so I'm excited to get into this and see how I like it. She just redid the book, a new cover, because this cover has people on it, but the other cover is kind of like animated. I guess you can use that word, animated. Yeah, so I am really excited to get into that. The fourth book that I want to read is called Heir to His Heart by Tatum James, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, so you can catch it over there if you want to read it too. But basically, another one of my favorite tropes is surprise pregnancy. So this girl, I forget her name, she breaks up with her boyfriend and ends up going on a one-night stand with some random person. When she comes to find out that the baby is not her ex-boyfriend's, it's obviously the one-night stands. She doesn't know how to find him or where to find him because he's a one-night stand. 2 years later, she ends up finding him. And this is summary on the back of the book. And it's so amazing how I can remember this. And I can't remember characters in books that I just read. So this is how I know I'm interested in this book. So 2 years later, she finds him on TV, sees him on TV because he has been arrested. And this is all on the synopsis. So I'm not giving any tea, obviously, because I haven't read it. But yeah, it's all on the synopsis. So when I read that, download TBR for the month of December, absolutely 100% sure. So I'm really excited to read that. Like I said, it's on Kindle Unlimited if you want to check it out. One of my goals before the end of the year is to read an author that I never read. And I'm a little embarrassed to tell you guys this, but I have never read a Lucinda Berry book. And I'm a thriller girly. I really am. I'm not lying to you. And please don't judge me when I tell you I never read Lucinda Berry before. I never have. It's my truth. It's my truth. It's my testimony. I'm here to share it. I feel like this is a safe space. So I'm excited that the fifth book that I want to read before the end of the year is The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. Now, if you just so happen to be gracious enough to be watching this right now, if you have another Lucinda Berry book that might be better, please do leave a comment and let me know. But The Perfect Child is something that I want to read. I want to see what it's about. So The Perfect Child is about Christopher and Hannah are a happily married surgeon and nurse with picture perfect lives. All that's missing is a child. When Janie, an abandoned 6-year-old, turns up at their hospital, Christopher forms an instant connection with her and he convinces Hannah they should take her home as their own. Ooh, that kind of reminds me of Meredith and Derek with Zola. I just went off in La La Land. I'm a Grace fan for sure. But Janie is no ordinary child, and her damaged sight proves to be more than her new parents were expecting. Janie is fiercely devoted to Christopher, but she acts out in increasingly disturbing ways, directing all her rage at Hannah. Unable to bond with Janie, Hannah is drowning under pressure, and Christopher refuses to see Janie's true nature. Hannah knows that Janie is manipulating Christopher and isolating him from her, despite Hannah's attempts to bring them all together. But as Janie's behavior threatens to tear Christopher and Hannah apart, the truth behind Janie's past may be enough to push them all over the edge. Nice. Wow, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Obviously, it's Christmas time, and I do want to dip into new authors, like I said about Lucinda Berry. So I'm going with a Brittany Cherry book, and also it's Christmas time. The Holidays by Brittany Cherry, absolutely hands down on the TBR before the end. Quirky Holly Jackson was unlucky in love, yet her romantic heart refused to give up her search for companionship, even after her fiance left her at the altar on Christmas Eve. Ooh! Grumpy restaurant owner Kai Kane. So I think this looks like it may be interracial, which I like, or he just may be a really light-skinned black man, which is possible. But anyway, I just love representation. Yeah, so grumpy restaurant owner Kai Kane wanted nothing to do with love after his last relationship crashed and burned. Romance was the last thing on his mind. Unfortunately for him, when an eccentric Holly kept entering his restaurant nightly with a different first date, his annoyance grew. When Kai volunteered to help Holly find a suitor, it was for one reason only: to get her out of his restaurant and onto a second date with someone at a different location. Ooh, this sounds like Kirby Girl Summer a little bit, where she was going on... She met the guy at the bar, but she was going on dates because he was kind of like protecting her almost. But just a grumpy in a grumpy manner. It's Kirby Girl Summer, he was more happy. And their banter was really cute. Plug, go read that book if you haven't. But yeah, The Holly Dates is definitely on the list. We're definitely going to read it. Everyone knows I am a Frida McFadden fan down to the core. It broke my heart to not love The Housemaid Is Watching. But we do have coming in at number 7 on my TBR for the end, 10 before the end, The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. So I've been really trying to get to The Perfect Son, but every time I go to pick it up, I see another Frida book and I'm like, I'm reading this instead. And The Inmate and the Boyfriend was really good. So I'm really excited to see how The Perfect Son goes. So that's definitely on the hit list. I don't know what the synopsis is. Let's read it real quick and see what it's about. Because Frida is crazy. Like, sometimes I wonder with suspense writers, what is really wrong with them? Like, what's going on up there in the head? Because for them to come up with some of this stuff is just beyond me. Alright, so Mrs. Cass, we were hoping your son could answer a few questions about the girl who disappeared last night. Erica Cass has a perfect family and a perfect life until the evening when 2 detectives show up at her front door. Oh, I remember reading this synopsis. A high school girl has vanished from Erica's quiet suburban neighborhood. The police suspect the worst: murder. And Erica's teenage son, Liam, was the last person to see the girl alive. Erica has always sensed something dark and disturbing in her seemingly perfect older child. She wants to believe he's innocent, but as the evidence mounts, she can't deny the truth. Liam may have done the unthinkable. Now she must ask herself, how far will her perfect son go? That sounds good, don't it? The 8th book that I want to read is The Things We Do for Love by Kristen Hanna. So I did pick this up yesterday in Walmart. I think it was. I was at Walmart. I saw it there, and I actually saw it on Goodreads somehow, or maybe on BookTube somewhere. I'm like, I really want to read that because I have 2 Kristen Hanna books now that I need to read, but that's something that I definitely want to read. From what I gather, I'm remembering in the book, I don't want to go back and grab it now because I don't want to go back and grab it now because like I'm in a flow, or I was in a flow before I dropped my iPad. But it's about a woman who cannot conceive and a girl who is looking for a mother, and so she takes the girl in, and they kind of have some turmoil happening in there, and just, I guess it just defines love and loving a child that's not yours, and I don't know, something that has to do with that. So I'm excited to read that and see how they navigate each other. I was always curious because it's kind of like adoption. I was always curious how people feel about adoption, like really truly loving somebody else's child. And as somebody that loves children, I could totally adopt and be cool with it. So I'm really curious to know how this story will unfold and if she'll give the girl up, because I think the girl is like difficult, like she's very challenging. So I'm wondering if she'll keep her and try to love on her and mold her, or if she'll just be like, girl, you got to go. You got to go. You can't stay here. You got to go somewhere. So my 9th book that I want to read, 10 before the end, is A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. This is on Kindle Unlimited as well. Most of these books are on Kindle Unlimited. Super duper plug right now. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, let me be the first to tell you, as a person that uses her Kindle for emotional support, basically, Kindle Unlimited is totally worth the $10, $11 or $12, however much it is. Totally worth it. So if you are pondering in your little head, should I go get it? Go get it. Go get it. After you get done watching this video though.
So wet.
Ooh, this sounds good. So it says, first of all, can we give a shout out to the rating on Goodreads? It's 4.26, which is pretty amazing. Oh wow, this is 608 pages. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing this month before the end of the year. Well, it has over 6,000 reviews with a 4.26 rating, which is excellent. So it says, I saw him first, but it didn't matter because he saw her. He was my best friend and I was his. We couldn't be together, but we couldn't stand to be apart. And if you're not truly lovers, but you're so much more than friends, what exactly are you? That sounds like it's going to be beautifully written. I don't know. Have you ever just read a synopsis and like, wow, that sounds really poetic? I don't know. That's just me. It just sounds really, really good. Then the 10th book that I want to read is Somebody's Forever by Robbie Renee. So I read this. This is the second book. I don't think this is a series. I think it's more of a duology. Basically, the first book is Somebody's Wife by Robbie Renee, and it follows Zeke, and I forget the female main character's name, Jules. She kind of annoyed me a little bit, and I had a little compassion towards the end, but she still annoyed the heck out of me. So it follows them. Basically, Jules is just getting divorced, and Somebody's Forever, she has finalized her divorce, and now she is navigating her relationship with Zeke. So there's a lot of fallout. Her daughter is not taking the divorce well, and so she's dealing with that. And then she is dating, he works in the same university as she does, so she's dealing with you know, people talking. Is it too soon? Should they be dating when they work together? All the things. So it kind of just unravels of how she deals with that in their relationship, you know, molding into what they both desire it to be. In the first book, they meet. It is some triggers in there. I'll just say that, but I really, really did enjoy it. If you love spice and smut, Somebody's Forever, or no, Somebody's Wife, yeah, read that. Go ahead and read that, because it was giving spice, it was giving romance, it was giving Zeke was obsessed in a good way with Jules, and I'm glad that she's getting the love that she desires, because sometimes men can just treat you like crap. So yeah, it really just picks up off of their story in the first book. So I haven't read Somebody's Forever yet, obviously, but I don't know if you should read it based on the synopsis before you read Somebody's Wife. I don't know if it will make total sense, but maybe the writer will read it or write it so that, or the author will write it so that it could be read as just a simple standalone. I don't know. I will recap it and let you know how I feel about that, if it can be read as a standalone. But right now I'm saying read Somebody's Wife first and then pick up Somebody's Forever by Robbie Renee. I think that's the best way to do this, because like I said, it's so much that happens prior to them getting to Somebody's Forever. So that's just my feelings. Yeah. So that's my 10 before the end. Like I said, I have a lot more books that I want to read, obviously. Hopefully, Lord's will, I will get into 2025 and I can read as much as I want to read. But those are the 10 that I really, 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 really want to get into before we say bye-bye to 24. Where did the time go? It just really flew out of nowhere. The older you get, the quicker time goes. So, if you're a teenager or a young adult, pace yourself, relax. Don't be so in a rush to get out of your parents' house, because once you do, time flies, and adulting is not always fun. No matter how old you get, it's just not fun all the time. But I digressed. Let's get back to it. I'm so happy you watched this video. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, join the fam. We're new here. We're trying to grow. We're trying to get some little chapter besties, get some conversation going. This is why I joined. I love reading. I want to talk to people about the books that I read. So I hope to see you guys all in the next video. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you all in the next one. The second book that, shoot, if I can grab it now, because